tapping a pen against a notebook filled with scribbled notes. A gala for the elite. They'll think they're donating to a cause that will save their reputation, or better yet, their soul. We're providing them a service. They just don't know it yet. Ethan raised an eyebrow. And what's the cause this time? Saving endangered unicorns? Maya grinned. Close. Rebuilding orphanages in war-torn countries hits all the right emotional notes. Across the table, Liam, the tech whiz of their operation, smirked. A little on the nose, don't you think? The media loves a sob story, but we'll need a convincing hook to sell it. That's where you come in, I said. We need a website, social media buzz, and some tear-jerking videos. The works. Think you can handle it? Liam leaned back in his chair. It's like asking if the sun rises. Give me a week. The trio spent the next month crafting the perfect con. Maya, a former PR executive with a knack for manipulation, spun the story of a nonprofit dedicated to rebuilding schools and homes for children in conflict zones. She tapped into her network of influencers and media contacts, planting articles and interviews that painted her as the altruistic face of the organization. Ethan, who had a background in logistics, handled the event planning. The gala would take place at a lavish ballroom in Manhattan, complete with live entertainment, gourmet catering, and a silent auction featuring items donated by Maya's fabricated nonprofit. Meanwhile, Liam worked his magic in the digital realm. The website he built was flawless, complete with testimonials from beneficiaries and photos of smiling children in makeshift classrooms. He even set up a donation portal for early contributions, which started pouring in within days of the campaign's launch. As the date of the gala approached, Maya turned her attention to recruiting staff. They needed people who would follow orders without asking questions, so she tapped into her network of shady connections to find a crew. Among them were Javier, a seasoned safecracker, and Tasha, a pickpocket with a knack for blending into crowds. You all know the plan, Maya told them during their final meeting. The guests arrive, they mingle, they donate. While they're distracted, we'll hit the real prize, the jewelry, cash, and valuables they bring with them. What about security? Javier asked, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. That's Ethan's department, Maya said, nodding toward him. Ethan smirked. I've already scoped the venue. Minimal staff, no cameras in storage areas, and the safe holding the auction items is a dinosaur. It's almost too easy. The night before the gala, the team met in their rented loft to go over the plan one last time. Maya paced in front of a whiteboard covered in diagrams and photos. Liam will be monitoring everything from the command center, she said. If anything goes wrong, he'll alert us through our earpieces. Tasha, you'll be working the crowd, lifting anything valuable off the guests. Javier, you and I will handle the safe. And me? Ethan asked. You're the face of this operation, Maya said. You'll keep the guests entertained while we do the dirty work. As they wrapped up the meeting, Liam raised a glass of whiskey. To charity for change, he said with a grin. To pulling off the perfect con, Maya added. The others raised their glasses, the clink of crystal echoing in the quiet room. The plan was set, the roles assigned, and the stage prepared. All that remained was to execute it flawlessly. The next evening, the ballroom buzzed with activity as attendees in designer gowns and tailored suits sipped champagne and mingled with glittering chandeliers. Maya stood near the entrance, greeting guests with a dazzling smile and a carefully rehearsed speech about the nonprofit's mission. Ethan worked the room, shaking hands and charming donors with stories about the children that generosity would help. This event means so much to us, he told an elderly couple as he pocketed the gold watch slipped to him by Tasha. You're truly making a difference. Meanwhile, Liam monitored the event from a nearby van, his laptop screen displaying security feeds he had hacked earlier in the week. All clear so far, he said into his headset. Tasha, keep an eye on the guy in the gray suit. He's got a Rolex that's worth more than my car. Already on it, Tasha replied. As the auction began, Maya signaled to Javier. It was time to make the move. The two slipped away from the main hall, navigating the maze of corridors that led to the storage area. Javier pulled out his toolkit and got to work on the safe, while Maya kept watch. This is almost too easy, Javier muttered as the safe's lock clicked open. Maya smirked. Don't jinx it. Inside the safe are stacks of cash, diamond necklaces, and other priceless items. They quickly loaded everything into a duffel bag and headed back toward the main hall. As they rejoined the party, Maya couldn't help but feel a surge of adrenaline. The plan was working perfectly, or so it seemed. The gala was in full swing, a spectacle of wealth and opulence. Strings of soft violins filled the air as waiters navigated the sea of elegantly dressed guests, balancing silver trays of champagne flutes. Ethan stood by the podium, preparing to address the crowd. His tailored suit and confident demeanor made him indistinguishable from the wealthy philanthropist he aimed to deceive. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan began, tapping the microphone for attention. On behalf of Charity for Change, I want to thank you all for your incredible generosity. Together, we're making a profound difference in the lives of countless children. The crowd responded with polite applause, their faces glowing with the satisfaction of altruism. In the corner of the room, Tasha moved silently among the guests, her nimble fingers retrieving wallets, cufflinks, and jewelry without drawing a single suspicious glance. Gray suit Rolex check, she whispered into her hidden microphone, sliding the watch into her clutch. Liam's voice crackled in her earpiece. Nice work. Don't get greedy, though. We've got bigger fish to fry. Tasha smirked, slipping an emerald brooch from an oblivious woman's jacket. I'll leave the crumbs for the mice. Back in the van, Liam monitored the security feeds. His fingers danced over the keyboard as he rerouted camera angles and looped footage to conceal their activities. Maya, you're clear, he said. Maya was stationed near the VIP section, where the wealthiest guests were being lavished with attention. She made her rounds, speaking with influencers and CEOs, carefully planting the seeds for future donations. We're so grateful for your support, she told one couple, her tone dripping with sincerity. Your contributions will directly fund new facilities and provide educational resources to children in desperate need. The couple nodded, visibly moved. We'll double our pledge, the man said, earning a radiant smile from Maya. Meanwhile, Ethan kept the crowd entertained with anecdotes about the supposed progress the charity had already made. He played his role with precision, his charm disarming even the most skeptical guests. In Sierra Leone, we've just completed a new school, he said, projecting an image of hope and determination. And with your support tonight, we'll be able to start on a hospital. The room erupted in applause, the sound masking the faint beep of Javier's radio. Safe's open, Javier reported from the storage area. We're packing up now. Behind the scenes, Javier and Maya worked swiftly to empty the safe. The duffel bag was almost too heavy to carry by the time they were done, brimming with cash and priceless artifacts. Liam, Maya whispered into her mic. Confirm exit status. Main hall's secure, but I've got a blip near the service entrance, Liam replied. Could be nothing, but keep your eyes open. As they made their way back to the main hall, Maya and Javier passed a security guard who gave them a cursory glance. Maya, ever the quick thinker, handed him a glass of champagne and flashed her brightest smile. Thank you for your hard work tonight, she said sweetly, walking past him before he could reply. Back in the hall, Ethan was wrapping up his speech. Remember, your contributions tonight aren't just donations. They're investments in a brighter future. The crowd erupted in applause as he stepped down from the podium. Maya joined him, casually linking her arm with his. Everything's on schedule, she whispered. Good, Ethan replied, his smile never wavering. Let's finish this. As the night wore on, the atmosphere in the ballroom was more relaxed. The live band had transitioned to jazz, and guests were beginning to let their guards down. Tasha continued her work, now focusing on small but valuable items like earrings and cufflinks. Got a platinum cufflink from the guy by the bar, she murmured into her mic. Keep it subtle, Liam warned. Don't want anyone realizing they've been hit until we're long gone. In the van, Liam's tension grew as he noticed movement near the service entrance. A guard lingered by the door, his radio crackling faintly. Ethan, Liam said, we've got a potential problem. Security sniffing around the exit. Ethan, standing near the bar with a glass of champagne around his leg. Maya, cover for us. I'll handle it. Maya walked over to the event room, engaging her in a conversation about logistics, while Ethan made his way to the bar. Evening, Ethan said, his tone casual. Something wrong? The guard eyed him suspiciously. Just a routine check. You're with the event staff? Event director, Ethan replied smoothly, pulling out a fake ID. Everything all right? The guard hesitated but nodded. Yeah, just following protocol. Good to hear, Ethan said, clapping him on the shoulder. Enjoy the rest of your night. By the time the gala wound down, the team was ready to make their exit. Guests were beginning to leave, and the staff was busy cleaning up. Maya signaled to Javier and Tasha, who slipped out through a side door with a duffel bag. Liam guided them remotely, disabling alarms and rerouting security cameras as they moved through the building. Clear path to the van, Liam said. Ethan and Maya stayed behind, ensuring their presence wouldn't raise suspicion. They mingled with the remaining guests, thanking them for their generosity until the last of the crowd trickled out. As the final guest departed, Maya turned to Ethan with a triumphant smile. Phase 1 complete, she said. Ethan nodded, his eyes gleaming. Now for the getaway. The grand ballroom was nearly empty, with only a few staff lingering to tidy up. Ethan and Maya walked toward the main entrance, maintaining their composed demeanor. The duffel bag stuffed with cash and valuables was safely secured in the van, now parked 3 blocks away. Ethan glanced at his watch and whispered into his hidden microphone. Status report. Everyone in position? Van's ready, Liam responded, his voice steady. Tasha and Javier are waiting for you at the checkpoint. Outside, the rain began to fall lightly, adding an air of calm to the night. Maya slipped her arm through Ethan's, playing the role of a graceful hostess until they were out of view of the remaining staff. As they turned a corner, Maya said, the security guards looked a little too comfortable for my liking. Think they'll notice anything tonight? Not until it's too late, Ethan assured her. The guests will be the first to realize something's off, and by then, we'll be long gone. Tasha and Javier waited near a narrow alley, both dressed in nondescript black jackets to blend in with the night. Javier, ever impatient, glanced at his phone. They're taking their sweet time, he muttered. Tasha rolled her eyes. Relax. Ethan's always about the big finish. He wants it clean. At that moment, Ethan and Maya appeared from the shadows, their confident strides unwavering. Miss us? Ethan asked with a grin. Not in the slightest, Tasha queried, tossing him a cap to cover his recognizable face. Let's move. The group made their way to the van, parked strategically under a burnt-out streetlight. Liam opened the sliding door from inside, motioning for them to get in quickly. Nice haul, Liam said, eyeing the duffel bag. This should keep us comfortable for a while. Ethan climbed into the passenger seat, glancing back at the others. Everyone accounted for? Present and fabulous, Tasha said, while Javier gave a thumbs up. Maya pulled out a map, tracing their escape route with her finger. The interstate is our best bet. We'll hit a back road about 20 miles out to avoid cameras. Ethan nodded, turning to Liam. You know the drill. Keep us invisible. As the van rolled out of the city, the team fell into a rhythm, each member reviewing their individual roles to ensure nothing had been overlooked. Tasha sifted through the stolen jewelry, separating the items based on their estimated worth. This emerald necklace alone could fund us for months, she said, holding it up to the dim light. Focus on the plan, Ethan said sharply. We're not out yet. Javier leaned back, smirking. Come on, boss. You've got to admit, this went smoother than any of us expected. Too smooth, Maya muttered, her eyes scanning the road behind them. As if on cue, Liam's voice broke the momentary silence. We've got a problem. Black SUV, 2 cars back. Been trailing us since we left. The atmosphere in the van shifted instantly. Can you lose them? Ethan asked, his tone calm and firm. Already working on it, Liam replied, taking a sudden turn down a narrow side street. The tires screeched, and the van jolted as it maneuvered through tight corners. The SUV followed, its headlights cutting through the darkness like a predator's gaze. Who are they? Cops? Javier asked, gripping the handle of the van's door. Doubt it, Liam said. No sirens and they're too discreet. Could be private security. Or someone with a vested interest in our little haul, Ethan said grimly. Maya leaned forward, her voice low and urgent. We need to shake them down. Liam, take the detour toward the industrial area. Lots of blind spots there. Liam nodded, executing another sharp turn. The van sped through abandoned streets, weaving between warehouses and loading docks. Tasha peered out the back window. They're still on us. This isn't working. Ethan grabbed the walkie-talkie connected to the fake scattering the contents across the road. The SUV swerved to avoid the debris, giving Liam enough time to take another sharp turn into a poorly lit alley. When they emerged on the other side, the SUV was nowhere to be seen. The van slowed, and everyone let out a collective breath. That was too close, Maya said, her hand still gripping the seat. Not close enough to stop us, Ethan said, though his expression was tense. Liam drove them to a secluded spot near the outskirts of the city, where they switched to an inconspicuous sedan hidden rear. The van, now a liability, was left behind with a small incendiary device to ensure no evidence remained. As the team drove off in the sedan, the tension began to ease. Tasha leaned back, inspecting the hall again. "Not bad for a night's work," she said, her voice laced with satisfaction. Ethan looked out the window, his mind already working on the next steps. "This isn't just about the money. We've set the stage for a bigger game." Javier chuckled. "Bigger game? You're insatiable, man." Ethan turned to him, a faint smile on his lips. "Always. But for now, let's disappear." The sedan merged onto a quiet highway, the city lights fading into the distance. In their wake, the charity gala was being hailed as a triumph, its guests unaware of the true cost of their generosity. The sedan cruised along the empty highway, the team silent as they processed the events of the evening. In the dim light of dawn, the road stretched ahead, a symbol of their precarious journey. Maya broke the silence. "We need to disappear completely this time. No loose ends, no mistakes." Ethan nodded, his gaze fixed ahead. "Agreed. Liam, let's make the first drop-off point near that cabin in the woods. We'll regroup there and figure out our next move." Liam adjusted the rearview mirror. "Got it. Should be about an hour out. But we'll need to clean the cash and offload the jewels fast. The longer we hold on to them, the hotter they get." Tasha turned from her seat, her tone light despite the tension. "Good thing I've got a few buyers on speed dial. Discreet, reliable, and greedy. Perfect combo." As they reached the cabin, nestled deep in the secluded forest, the team worked quickly. Ethan laid the duffel bags on the table, each member sorting through the loot meticulously. Maya inspected a diamond bracelet and the light lantern. "Some of these pieces might be traceable. We should break them down or get rid of them altogether." Javier leaned against the wall, his arms crossed. "Shame to destroy art like this, but I guess it's better than jail time." Ethan looked up, his tone sharp. "This isn't about sentiment. We do what we have to. Tasha, start making calls. Liam, check if there's any chatter about the gala." Liam pulled out his laptop, connecting to a secure network. "Give me a minute." As Liam tapped away, the atmosphere grew heavier. The reality of their situation set in. They had pulled off a heist of this scale, but it wouldn't be long before questions arose. Liam finally spoke, his voice tinged with concern. "We've got a problem. The private security firm hired for the gala is already investigating the missing items. They're using facial recognition from the event." Maya's face tightened. "Do they have anything on us?" "Not yet," Liam said. "The masks and disguises held up, but we can't risk staying in one place for long." Ethan rubbed his temples. "Okay, new plan. We split up. Maya and I will head to the buy in the city. Tasha, you and Javier take the cash and lay low. Liam, you monitor everything from here and let us know if anything changes." As the team prepared to part ways, the tension in the air was palpable. Maya approached Ethan as they loaded their shared loot into a car. "Do you think we can actually pull this off?" she asked, her voice softer than usual. Ethan looked at her, his expression unwavering. "We have to. There's no going back." Ethan and Maya drove through the forest, the weight of their actions heavy on their minds. The car hummed steadily, a stark contrast to the storm brewing in the floods. "Do you ever think about stopping?" Maya asked suddenly. Ethan glanced at her, surprised. "Stopping what?" "This. The jobs, the constant running. Do you ever think about just walking away?" He was silent for a moment before responding. "Sometimes, but then I remember why I started, and why I can't stop." Maya nodded, understanding the unspoken truce in his words. They arrived at a nondescript warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The buyer, a middle-aged man with a sharp suit and golden eyes, greeted them with a thin smile. Silly, the buyer said, his voice clipped. We're efficient, Ethan replied. The buyer gestured to a table. Let's see the goods. Maya carefully placed the jewels on the table. Each piece sparkled under the harsh fluorescent lights. The buyer examined them with a loupe, his expression unreal. Impressive, he finally said. But these pieces are hot. I can't offer you full value. Ethan's jaw tightened. We're not here to negotiate. You know their worth, and you know we wouldn't bring them to you if we didn't trust you to move them. The buyer considered this before nodding. Fair point. I'll wire the payment to your account. Back at the cabin, Tasha and Javier were settling in when Liam's voice broke the silence. We've got another issue, Javier groaned. What now? Liam turned his laptop toward them. A news headline blared across the screen. Charity Gala scandal. Security firm investigates major theft. Tasha frowned. They're moving faster than we thought. And there's more, Liam said grimly. One of the security guards at the gala recognized Ethan's mannerisms. They're cross-referencing footage with his known aliases. Ethan and Maya returned to the cabin just as Liam was delivering the bad news. They're on to us, Liam said. Not fully, but it's only a matter of time. Ethan's face was a mask of determination. Then we speed up the timeline. We liquidate what we can and disappear. Maya hesitated. What about the others? We can't just leave them behind. We're not, Ethan said firmly. We stick together, always. The team packed their belongings, ready to vanish once again. As they drove away from the cabin, the morning light painted the sky in hues of orange and pink. In the rearview mirror, the cabin faded into the distance. A temporary sanctuary, now just another memory. Ethan spoke, his voice steady. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The others nodded, their resolve unbroken. They were a team, bound by trust and a shared understanding of the risks they faced. For now, they were free, and the chase was far from over. Months had passed since the gala heist, but the echoes of that night still rippled through the lives of the team. Each member had followed Ethan's plan, scattering across continents and erasing their tracks. Yet their shared history kept them tethered, an unspoken bond stronger than the miles between them. In a quiet villa perched atop the Amalfi Coast, Ethan sat on a terrace overlooking the Mediterranean. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden light over the waters. Maya joined him, carrying 2 glasses of wine. Still keeping tabs on everyone? She asked, handing him a glass. Old habits, Ethan replied, smirking. Tasha's running her art gallery in Barcelona. Liam set up a tech consultancy firm in Tokyo. And Javier, he's restoring vintage cars in Buenos Aires. Maya chuckled. And us? What's our next move? Ethan swirled his wine thoughtfully. We lay low, enjoy the quiet, for once. Maya raised an eyebrow. You think you can manage that? Ethan grinned. Not a chance, but I'll try. Meanwhile, Tasha stood in the middle of her gallery, admiring a new exhibit. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She glanced at the screen, a secure message from Liam. Spotted something interesting, a potential job. Let me know if you're tempted. She smiled, shaking her head. Some things never change. Across the globe, Liam leaned back in his ergonomic chair, his Tokyo apartment a sea of monitors and servers. He clicked through encrypted files, his curiosity always pulling him toward the next puzzle. Old habits, he muttered to himself, grinning. In Buenos Aires, Javier wiped grease from his hands, stepping back to admire the cherry-red convertible he'd just restored. His phone buzzed on the workbench. Ethan's voice came through a secure line. How's life in the slow lane? Peaceful, Javier replied. Though I'm starting to miss the adrenaline. I figured, Ethan said. Stay sharp, just in case. Javier laughed. Always. The group remained scattered but connected through sporadic messages and coded updates. The world had moved on from the gala heist. The stolen treasures quietly integrated into underground markets or safely stored in private collections. The fake charity's infamy had faded into whispers among the wealthy, a cautionary tale of misplaced trust. Ethan and Maya walked through his villa's gardens, the moon casting long shadows across the path. You ever think about the people we fooled? Maya asked. Sometimes, Ethan admitted, but we didn't force them to trust us. They chose to. We just exploited their arrogance. Maya sighed. doesn't make it any less messy. No, Ethan said, but it's done, and we move forward. As they reached the edge of the garden, Ethan's phone buzzed. A message from Liam. New opportunity, big payout. Interested?